Hi y'all. So I got a quick message. 1010 555 888. Stop worrying about the opinions of people who would not accept you with your mask off. Why do you care or choose to try to impress the people that wouldn't accept you for who you authentically is without judgment? What makes them so important that you feel like you can't be yourself? And how can you see that as love, family or not? If you're somebody that has to hide your real identity, who you are, what you're attracted to, what you like, just to fit in with your family, then that's not family, nor is it love. Real love is unconditional. Whether you are tall or short, big or small, gay or straight, you know, whether you are woman, man, whether you dress like a woman, dress like a man, no matter what, broke, rich, real love do not change based upon things of that sort. And if you have to change anything about yourself for anyone to accept you, that's not the crowd to be in. If I gotta impress who I am to be liked, accepted, to be fit in, count me out. I can do that over myself and be me. I would not trade who I am and to become who somebody wants me to be. Why? What makes you so special that I can't be me, but you can be you? And I can see all the horrible traits about you and accept you, but you can't accept me. Or I can see all the horrible traits about you, but because you have money, be quiet and just let it be classified, but still can't be me. Now ask yourself, who's keeping you in that box, them or you? Because it's your choice whether to accept them or not, just as well as it's their choice whether to accept everything about you or not. And all in all, the little thing about yourself that some people might frown upon is nothing compared to the things you accept out of somebody's character just based upon the money they have. Like, a person can have confirmation 10 of the worst character traits that you can think of about money, and you have to hide one little but big thing about yourself in your life that's not technically bad, it's just preference. And live in a shadow and never truly be happy or figure out what really makes you happy and peace because of judgment, because of the group you choose to inflict yourself upon. Because you don't have to hang around with people that don't accept you. Leave, walk away. But if you're doing it based upon financial gain, that's still a choice. Some situations we are put in, I'm not going to say put in, some situations we accept or put ourselves in, it's like a self-imposed prison. It's a self-imposed mental prison. It's a self-imposed limitations. It's self-imposed trauma, self-imposed oppression. When there are thousands of people in this world, millions, that will accept you just the way you are, flaws and all, closet wide open, because they know what genuine love means and is. It might not be the richest confirmation. That could be by default, that could be by other people's hands, or that could be just because they're comfortable with a simple life. Take out resonates. However, they don't give a damn what you like as long as you ain't hurt nobody and as long as you're happy. That's what real love is. Real love is not what somebody can buy you. Real love is not what it look like. Real love is what it makes you feel like. And if it's something that people don't accept simply off of judgmental facts, 333-888, then that is a them problem. That's not a you problem. You make it a you problem when you oppress yourself to fit in. You make it a you problem when you're scared to stand out. You make it a you problem when you worry about people's opinions of you that can't even look in the damn mirror themselves. They will judge you because you're gay, but be a whole rapist out here sleeping with underage kids. Man or woman, a woman might judge you because you're gay, and the whole time knowing a man is in there molesting their child and not stopping it or listening, but want to say, ew, you like men, you're a man that like men, or ew, you're a woman that like women. Whole time your boyfriend or husband molesting your child and you know it, and you ain't saying ew to that. So why would you respect their judgment or respect them? What is there to respect? You can get your own money. Anybody can. You just gotta do the work yourself. I don't look for respect out of no human being. I respect me, which automatically draws people that's going to respect you. And if they don't, I take myself out their presence. I don't care what you got. And I daggone sure ain't gonna worry about somebody's opinion that got more skeletons, more goddamn cactuses than the Sahara Desert. I definitely ain't gonna oppose myself, my beliefs, or being me for people that judge off of appearance or because two men together don't look good, or two women together don't look good, but you sleeping with minors do. And then that girl mama that no, not saying nothing. Y'all okay with this, but you ain't okay with a man liking a man. You okay with this, but you not okay with a woman liking a woman. Make it make sense, and you accept that judgment from them. Why? They can't even look in the mirror at their damn self. I'm just saying. Yours is consensual. Y'all are grown. Ask that person, is theirs the same? The one that's judging you for something that's completely legal. And it happens. I'm just saying. Think about the characteristics of the people that sit here and try to persecute you. Be honest with yourself. The people that judge you and persecute you for things that, like, that, I'm going to say, like, that's a normal thing that some people battle with, their sexuality. Sleeping with underage kids, molestation and rape, that's not a normal battle for people. That's not a normal default. That's not a normal issue. It's not a normal issue to rape people, man or woman, male or female. It's not a normal issue to like kids underage. It is normal to be confused about your sexual orientation. For some folks, it happens more often than not. 666 on the clock. That's normal for you to be like, you know? But the other stuff ain't normal. So next time, or when you are reflecting on all those oppressed emotions and all that judgment on your own self based upon people that probably need to be in a padded room, remember that. Remember the things about them. Like, why do I care about how these people look at me when X, Y, Z? And it's something that's an unspoken secret. It's something that everybody kind of noticed, but everyone turned their head. Why would I care what they think about me? Look at what they're doing. And I ain't judging them. I'm not even going to be around this type of energy. I'm going to go live my life and be me. I don't know what they think about me liking the same sex. I take my ass over here where people don't care what I like, as long as I ain't bothering or hurting nobody in their other age. Bye. I'll let y'all be weird over here by yourselves, judging people, sitting in front of the church, but knowing what you do at night and behind closed doors. Okay? That's for somebody. I'm not even going to pull any cards on that, because I don't like putting anybody on the spot. But I'm going to channel what my ancestors are telling me to channel. And I'm going to say what they tell me to say. And understand, we walk in the light, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And whenever you need to balance and go over here or go over there, then it's done. When it comes to just the ickiness of some people, the way they think, the way they move, and then the empathy comes in because it's something embedded in other folks when they were kids to be embarrassed about, be shamed about. All in all this other is going on in the background that's like truly disgusting, truly just not ordinary, truly something to be ashamed about. You being attracted to the same sex is nothing to be ashamed about. It's something you got to work out within you, something you got to figure out within you, something you need to be able to just work through in you. But it ain't nothing that you should be ashamed about. It ain't nothing that you should feel bad about yourself. It ain't nothing for you to sit there and feel like harsh judgment and ridicule and just be like so deeply dark, take you to such a deep dark place that you don't even have the capability of even figuring it out, because of so much of that pressure comes from the perception of other people. That's when you got to really ask yourself, why do you care so much about what other people say? Is their opinion worth your happiness? And if so, why? Look at the type of people they are, and they're older than you. It's a mental prison. I'm not going to say what's right or what's wrong, but I will say it's all based upon you, your intentions, period. However, it's stuff that should be spoken on and spoken out about that are not being spoken on or spoken out about, and that is just causing damage to a generation that's coming behind. And the worst part is, it's like nobody, and I know the feeling because I've been there as a child, and knowing that all these grown folks around you know what's going on, but nobody is speaking up. They're too worried about who finds out that you really are into this sex or that sex. Everybody's so worried about nobody finding out that these two grown people hunching each other their men, when who really gives a fuck? That's what they like. That's what they like. So fucking what? Nobody's paying attention that people are violating these children. Nobody's paying attention that these children are crying out for help, but there's so many grown people around them. But these are the people that come out here and judge people. These are the people that come out here like, I got all of this money, I got this and that. But you ain't even paying attention to the generation behind you that's right there, right in front of your face, that's being violated, that's being ignored. Wake up. Because the trouble, the issues, and the damage is so much deeper than just the fraud and the scamming. I'm always an advocate for kids. I'm always going to be an advocate for battered women. I'm always going to be an advocate for people's rights if they want to like a man or a woman. Their right to be themselves. Kids got a right to be kids. But the parents that have them and adults need to be responsible. If you can't be responsible, stop fucking having them. They don't deserve to have to suffer because you egotistical. They don't deserve to have to suffer because you so worried about money and materials and what you look like, when all reality, if people really knew what happened behind their doors, fuck the scamming, fuck the scheming, and God, please forgive me for cussing, I'm gonna cuss. Fuck the man that liked the man, the woman that liked the woman. What about the man that liked the child? What about that? Handle that before you try to convince people that you're so rich. Handle that. I don't know who this for. I ain't even gonna say. I don't know who this for, but I've been that child before. And this energy just gets, more stuff keeps coming out, And these are the people that go and make false reports against other people. These are the people that try to take you to court to take your kids. These are the people that make false reports about you doing something with kids. And then they make false reports against somebody that was molested as a child. And then, knowing that was something that people had to heal from. And this is more than one energy. And then you try to make up lies and pay for somebody to push paperwork to say that when there's not even a man in this house. Or the man that was in this house is in your house now. Take it how it resonates. This is for somebody, more than one person. Because there's a lot of kids that was molested as a child within their household. Me personally, that situation right there is something that made me not open to having different men in my house. That is something that really, I've had daughters, especially that regulated everything I did right there. I ain't even date since my last person. I've not dated. I don't bring men in and out my house around my kids just because of that. That's protection, though I've healed from it. But it's still like I know what people are capable of, whether they can to you or not. Period. And it's not, women do it too. Women do it too. But people be so worried about, and even back then it's like what goes on in this house, it stays out. They want you to be quiet about things that's happening to you that should not be happening. Instead of somebody protecting you, everybody's worried about protecting the image instead of protecting the kids. Everybody's worried about protecting the image instead of really speaking up confirmation and protecting the kids. Everybody's worried about what something looks like. But yet, what about stopping it from happening, period? What about speaking up? That's the time when everybody in the house should be banking the motherfucker that's touching the kids. Not defending them, not hiding it. Oh, y'all, especially the mothers, y'all should be banking this nigga. Lord, please forgive my language, but I'm going to say it. I'm not somebody that promotes violence, and I got chills all up and down my spine. However, it's certain things that's just not okay. Certain things you just don't do. And at what point, and that's a generational curse that needed to be severed. Everybody working so hard to look upstanding. They work so hard to cover up the crimes instead of going inside and healing and fixing that monster or that demon inside of them that is causing them to commit the crime. And don't make my words fit your own narrative. Okay? And that's for somebody. I know how people are and like to say, oh, she said that. I didn't say nothing about nobody in particular. I'm channeling, I'm picking up the energy. So don't take what don't fit you. If you know you're somebody that don't touch minors, if you know somebody that you don't rape kids, then it ain't for you. But a hit dog will holler. A hit dog will holler. So if you know that you do not mess with young minors, and you know you don't rape kids, then don't put yourself in the seat that I'm channeling. However, if you do, that's on you. I'm always going to speak within the energy. I'm going to always be honest, and that's what's in this energy. Somebody got some money, and somebody's hiding that they like men because of the people that they are around in this coven or this cult. They don't want people outside or people in the real world to know that they are gay when they literally like men. They're suppressing themselves. They're suppressing their own happiness because of what people around them will think. But however, the people around them, the man at least, is a rapist. He sleeps with underage kids. And matter of fact, it's somebody that he dates. One of her kids or something. I don't know if it's his kid or not. I'm just figuring the energy. So I'm saying, why do you care about their opinion when that's what they into? So don't take my words and try to put anybody's face in my narrative unless it is your own. And if it's your own, you own it. But I'm always going to channel what the energy is. Now, don't get it twisted. We are empaths. We are light, love. We are earth angels. But everybody has to have a degree of justice. And when it comes to kids, old people, women of domestic assault, or rights of any human being, 2 men, 2 women, that are grown and legal, of dating, I'm all for the shit. Okay? I'm going to speak up for them. So, take it how it resonates. However, if you pick it up and take it for yourself, that's on you. And another thing, for whoever it is that always watch all my videos and put themselves in the seat, you read cards too. You're a karmic reader. It's like 3 of y'all. In every video or everything I say, you make it like I'm talking about you. I don't look at your page, but I know that sometimes you copy my work. I know that sometimes you start sharing stuff like I'm speaking on you. I'm not talking about y'all. Look, I'm going to make sure I say that now because you like to play games. You like to string or you like to be weird. If you pick it up and take it as yours, that is you. However, if you read cards, you know it's a million people in this world that you pick up energy on. You can't control what you got the channel or what comes out. If you do, it's because you are choosing to try to play God, which we know you do. This is for somebody. This is for one of these karmic readers that like to act like I'm always talking about them. I just started entering into this world of empath, sharing my gifts. And that's because I'm led to, that's because I'm called to, and that's because I can't run from mine. Even when I tried to. My ancestors, God, they shut shit down for me. So, I'm going to do what the fuck I'm here to do. Whether you like it or not. But understand, ain't nobody directing nothing to you. However, if you pick it up because it resonates with you, and you pick it up because it brought your attention, that's a you problem. Only you know what's going on around you or your house. Don't got nothing to do with me. Fo. However, this is what I'm channeling. Stop making everything I post about you. Y'all, please. Thank you. Now back to my message. It takes less work to go inside and heal and figure out what is going on with you that's making you act that way instead of trying to find ways to cover up the ways. And then that isolates the issue with just you, and you're not putting those burdens on the next generation, and the next kid, or all the kids in there that know what's going on. All these, like, come on. At some point, that got to change. Somebody got to speak up. Somebody got to defend the people that cannot defend themselves. Somebody got to wake the fuck up and know that looking good, but being a mess, it's just like eating a plate, you getting some food and that shit look like it's about to be so good, and then you taking a bite and it's just, eating a piece of chicken, when you bite it, it's uncooked, the blood coming out. Are you still want, what the fuck doesn't matter what the chicken look like if it's wrong inside, if it ain't nasty. It don't matter what the outside look like, you stick what? And that goes to say, even, I'm gonna go back to my own experience, that saying, but those on limits house, staying house, why were some kids, I'm gonna say in my household, I grew up and we were programmed not to speak on things that was wrong, and that should have been spoken on, and at the end of the day, we shouldn't even have to when adults was around and knew what was happening. If you're an adult and you know what's happening, how are you not acting? Instead of you acting upon those things, you're telling us to not say anything. You're putting fear in that child, and this is the inner child coming out. You putting fear in that child not to speak up and tell somebody that might actually help them, on top of not helping them and knowing it's happening. Then you have that child that grow up with this trauma that rolls over to other areas of life, like dating, rolls over to other areas of life, to the way they are with their kids, rolls over to their friendships, their relationships, the way they trust, which enacts all these other burdens and stuff, a way to cope with it, the drinking, the smoking, the popping pills, trying to numb the pain and for the rest of their life on something that every adult in that room tried to bury and hide instead of addressing and fixing. That is the biggest thing that I knew, even as a kid, that when I had kids, they would never go through, because that was the one thing that I was willing to be put under the jail for. Somebody fucking my kids. So I made sure, and I still do now because they're getting older, that I never put me or my kids in that situation. And that was a reason why I held on to their father so long, which was ultimately something else that I had to break too. That generational curse, feeling like you had to be with the person you had kids by. The generational curse, on top of not just because it was so much deeper than just him being a dad. It was everything about it, and you're not even thinking about it affecting you in that manner until you had kids. The first time I knew that affected me as an adult, and I was just covering up because I started having dreams about what was happening to me. Again, it's like I forgot a lot of stuff until I got pregnant. Once I got pregnant, oh my God, like I started, and to the point that I was calling one of my older family members and asking her what happened to me. I started asking what happened to me, because some stuff I could remember, some stuff I couldn't. A lot of stuff I couldn't remember. And then it started rolling over to, like, my friends used to be like, oh, we're going on a trip. I used to, like, I can't go on no trip. My kids can't talk. Like, it's like, it's only for a few days. My kids can't talk. They can't tell me what's wrong with them. I'm not, what? Watch my kids, who? What? Which I had to realize it was me and that unhealed wounding. And then I just started asking myself, like, why are you so ashamed of what happened to you? Why are you ashamed of what happened to you? Like, you were a kid. That's really, I think, when I really started looking deeper into, like, how things that happen in your childhood that you suppress down so deep that you don't think about it, nor do you even want to think about it, but how do you work through it without thinking about it? And put it in perspective without thinking about it, and let it go without thinking about it. Yet, it was like, again, I had went through life confirmation so long, and no matter what I experienced, I never let nothing put any type of long-term effect. Everybody's different, and a lot of times that's why I judge people. Like, when people are like, oh, she's a whore, whatever, you don't know what they went through when they was a child. They might have been overly sexualized when they was a child, which, sometimes people react like that. Or like me, I turned to dating women. I dated women, like, I've been in one relationship with one man my entire life. I have had encounters with more than one man, but they were like long-term encounters, and I didn't want like kids, and I did not want to get, be with them. I didn't want to be with you. I mean, I had like a friend, like I stuck to the same deposit, and that the same person I knew. I mean, through my whole 35 years when I was sexually active, the same consistent people that I fooled around with, it was like those people, and they were people that I knew I wasn't looking for a commitment out of, nor were they able to give me a commitment. And I didn't care. That was kind of me protecting myself too, and my feelings, and me, knowing that you're not going to stay here, you're going to leave. I don't got to worry about going to sleep and you being around me, or me having to not be able to sleep because I've been in a situation where somebody tried to off me. I've been in a situation where I was violated sexually. So it was like, sleep rule. I was more comfortable with self, and if it wasn't with self, I dated women. So I met one guy that I instantly took to, but I also, the first time I ever felt like I already knew him. I knew you, which ended up being my twin flame. But me and my twin flame, that's a whole other story. We're not in the type of union that it comes back together. Like, it's not that type of union. And that's just that. I'm not even gonna get into details with that. But other than that, confirmation, that was like the thing that I never really thought about until I was grown. Because I never liked the fact that people would be like, I'm like this because of my childhood and stuff, because everything is our choice. So yeah, we all been through stuff, but to deflect everything we do on the way we grew up kind of get overused. Because despite that fact, we still decide to do whatever it is that we want to do. You could grow up in the house with a bunch of people that smoke crack, don't even smoke crack. So you can't just say that, oh, I'm like this because everybody else was around me like it. You pick and choose which things you carry with you and indulge in, and what things you super guarded yourself in. I'm gonna say it like that, because it is cause and effect. So if it was something you've seen that was done, that like somebody being overly sexualized, you might chose to indulge in having a lot of sex, different partners, whatever the case is. Where on another sense, people in your family was alcoholics, and you might chose not to drink. I might have a lot of sex, and I ain't gonna drink, something of that sort. Not talking about me. I did not have a lot of sex. I shut down. I became guarded instead of open to people, places, and things. I'm like a loner, like more comfortable by myself, more comfortable, like where I can control everything that's around me. I can see everything. I know everything. Like, no, and it was hard to get me to trust you, especially like I couldn't sleep with random people, even in my house. Like, even if you was here sleeping on the couch, I couldn't sleep because you still got access to me while I am in a state of unconsciousness, sleep, So yeah, that's a little bit more about me, and why I feel so strongly, and always been an advocate for kids. I don't believe in children being bad. I believe them displaying the behavior of their atmosphere. Yes, because when you're a kid, you're still so easily molded and reformed and changed that you can't really put it on them. Because if that kid is there and that kid is bad or acting in a certain way, it's definitely because of their environment. And you can take that kid out of the environment, and it's going to be hard sometimes to mold some things out of them. But sometimes it's not just hard, it's your delivery too. Like, we also got a problem with delivery as an adult to a child. We also got a problem with inconsistency as an adult to a child. So I feel like any child can be molded and saved and reformed and rerouted. But it has to be genuine. You got to be committed to it and consistent. But I think kids that are in that situation, just like I was, you lose faith in the adults around you because they're too busy trying to shut you up and not trying to stop it. It was more of a shut up instead of them fixing it. So that's why I get so emotional with that, because it's like, for me, that's just a no-go. And I don't know who this is for. However, I know what the energy is. And if this resonates with anybody, I'm not even going to pull no signs or nothing. I just told y'all the angel sync numbers. And if this is timeless, so if it comes across your thing, check on the kids around you. Check on the kids in your family, And anybody that puts false accusations on somebody that you know for daggone sure never will do that, never put their kids in that situation, or been in that situation on top of that, so they're way more guarded with their kids, then shame on you. I call judgment on you right here, right now. Whoever in this energy that did that. And for any mother that's allowing that to happen to their kids, judgment on you too. Shame on you. Never put a man over your kids. Protect your kids. Anybody judging any grown person because they like other men, but you are okay with sleeping with underage kids against their will, even if it was like they were like teenage and they say, yeah, you're still disgusting. They're a minor. You're a grown ass man. Somebody in their 40s. That person I'm picking up on though. Shame on you and burn in hell. You definitely need judgment down on your head. And that's a fact. And if nobody in that house would say it, I'm telling you that. They all being quiet because you got money, whoever you are. I wouldn't be. That's probably why I'm an outcast now. I'll be that. But I know one thing. If I was there, them damn kids wouldn't be. If I knew who you were, besides feeling your energy, them damn kids wouldn't be. And if anybody knows and sees this and it resonates with you, get up off your ass and defend them kids. Protect them kids like you protect your name. Protect them kids like you protect your fly. Protect them kids like you protect your crimes. Protect those kids. And as I always say, remember to pray. Bye, guys.